Hey guys, it's Brandy. I'm from Growth and Harmony. If you've seen my videos, then you may know that. But if you haven't found me yet, Growth and Harmony is my channel. Now, I do want to say Happy St. Patty's Day, and I don't say that because I'm part of the Catholic Church or anything like that. I am definitely not. I say that because I myself have Irish heritage, a lot of it, and I'm very proud of that. And here in America, we don't really have a whole lot of holidays other than this one to celebrate Irish heritage. So, I am not celebrating um, St. Patty's Day, excuse me, to drive out the snakes or any crazy mumbo jumbo came from the Catholic Church or Protestants or whatever that was. Okay. I just like to celebrate my heritage. So with that said, I just want to bring up some things that I find to be important. And I would like to share those ideas with you today, of course. So, hope you're all having a great time. Don't do anything crazy today. There's plenty of drinking going on. So just be careful on the roads, and if you're walking, still be careful because it's holidays. We just have to do that, especially holidays that are heavy in drinking. So just be aware of that. Anyways, on to what I was saying. I'm gonna sit down for this just to get more comfortable. Sorry about that, guys. So, I want to talk about how things are not what you think they are. They are not solid like you think that they are. Yes, they are solid, but at the same time, they're not. Okay, even science these days is saying that things are only like a tiny bit atoms, tiny bit material, a tiny bit, okay? If even that, some scientists will tell you that nothing's physical, which is the point that I'm going to be on. Because it really isn't. It's all controlled by your mind. Every bit of it. Okay? Your mind and your emotions are in control of what's going on. That's why everyone talks about vibration, raising your vibration to change your life. That kind of thing. You're hearing about that all the time, but you don't know why, I think. I think a lot of people don't understand why they're hearing, oh, raise your vibration like everywhere and how to do it and stuff. A lot of people are just unaware of how that affects you and your life and the so-called physicality that is supposedly you and everything around you. But even science at this point has said that everything's just energy, okay? And I'm going to tell you that it's waves of energy. It doesn't work like people think it does. And you have to get to a point of spirituality or awareness to come to that realization. And some people get there through some other methods, like acid. I'm not saying to do that. Actually, I'm saying, that's not my recommendation. If you have done it, then whatever. I'm not judging you. I'm saying on my channel, I'm not promoting it in this video. So, what I will say is that even if you sit and slow down your breathing and meditate, or just lay in bed at night with all the lights off and just stare, okay? If your third eye is open, you can just stare and see the waves, and, you want the dark environment so that the light is more visible to your eyes, okay? Because your so-called physical body is not meant to see all forms of light. Okay, it only picks up a band of frequency that your eyes can handle. But if you open your third eye, or if you shut off all the lights and just stare into space, eventually you're going to see what I'm talking about. You're going to see waves. You're going to see grid lines. You're going to be like, oh my God, everything's made of light. What? It's made of light? What? Made of vibrations and light? How is this? And like I said, if you practice what I'm telling you right now, excuse me, either meditation or just sitting in the dark, staring long enough, you're going to see it. And you're gonna see that everything is particles of light and patterns. And you're going to see those patterns are vibrating. Okay? It's not as hard as people make it out to be. Okay? And it really just takes getting to be alone, by yourself preferably, because then you won't have as many distractions going on. Once you've trained yourself to see it, you can see it no matter what's going on. No matter what, or at least I can. Okay? All the time I'm seeing patterns of light and vibrations. I see them. I don't just hear vibrations as noise. I see them move. Okay, so I know for a fact that everything's energy. And I know how it works. Okay? So my deal here isn't just that I know it. I'm sharing it with you so that hopefully you understand the same things. Because I think that this is helpful for healing. Which is my whole goal here, is to help other people heal. To help myself, of course, as well. But mostly, I'm incarnated here to help humans heal. That's what I'm here for. So, what I will say is that, first of all, nothing's physical, as we just talked about. And now we're going to talk about how everything's mental and has to do with your emotions and your vibration overall. So because you're a light being made of light waves or particles, whichever way you want to look at that, in a vibration, And that's what determines whether you are doing well or not. Now, this is important because once you realize that your mind and your emotions control your vibration, then you can change your life for the better. And also food. That's another thing. We're gonna go over that probably as well. Let's go over that. Yeah, let's do that. Because what you put in you, or your supposed physical manifestation that you're seeing, changes that physical manifestation. Okay, so the reason it changes it, though, has to do with vibration. It doesn't have to do with that it's a physical piece of matter going into your body. It has to do with the fact that it's vibration. So that's why eating healthy changes your vibration. And that's why eating bad changes your vibration. It's because everything's energy. And it's the vibration that you put inside of you that is either going to help raise your vibration and heal you, or it's going to lower your vibration and make you sick. Okay? And so, if you do those things for long enough, the right way, you can change your vibration just through what you eat. But also, you have to be mindful of what goes in your mind. Okay? Because if you're feeding your mind lower vibrations all the time, like the TV or negative music, or people complaining all the time, or yourself complaining all the time, that's going to lower your vibration. It's going to put you in a spot you're not going to want to be in. And it's also going to affect your health. So, if you were to do the opposite and put good things into your mind and listen to good music and maybe watch some helpful learning programs or something that's going to benefit you, and have better conversations, like maybe instead of complaining, maybe find things to be grateful for and have the mindset of gratefulness, your vibration is going to change for the better. Okay? And that's when you're going to start healing. And the same thing goes for chemicals and things like soap or toothpaste or anything like that, okay? So if you use things that are of a higher vibration, obviously it's going to help you vibrate higher. If you use things of a lower vibration, like, deodorant that's made out of antifreeze, for example, and yes, there are deodorants made out of antifreeze. Obviously, that's not going to be a good vibration for your body. Something that works in a machine or a car does not work in your body. Not well, anyway. Doesn't do anything good for it. So, I think that's pretty much my rant today. It's just that things don't work the way that you think that they do. They work from your mind and your feelings and your vibration. And they are not physical, which science has already proven, by the way. You can look it up. If you don't trust me, look it up. Look up new science is found. Greg Braden talks about it a lot. And I don't know, there's some other people like Joe Dispenza, he talks about it. There's another guy who healed himself. Okay. And he talks about that a lot. That's what he does, actually. Is he just goes around telling people how he healed himself and how they can do it. And he helps people get to that point. Which is kind of the same path that I'm on. But I'm going to go about it a different way, because I know that people understand things from different levels. So I know that sometimes things work for some people and it clicks, and other things might work for other people and it might click. Okay? So he and I have the same goal here. But I'm explaining it from my understanding, in my words and my experiences. If you don't know me, I was in a car accident that I died in. Okay, I had a near-death experience, if you want to call it that. But my soul left my body. Okay. And I was aware of my body, but I was not in it. And then I was aware that I was not in my body, and that I was not in the spiritual body either. Which led me to the point of believing in consciousness, because that's the only thing I could call it at that point. I had no words for it, actually. God, consciousness, I had no idea what I was experiencing. I knew was from that vantage point, I saw everything. I seemed to know things that I shouldn't know. And it was like I was connected to everything. Okay, like that's the best way I can describe it from a human perspective. So there's 3 parts that are important, and I think that's what the Bible is trying to get to, actually. I know my rant is going longer than I planned, but I think it's important. So, basically, the Bible talks about a Godhead and a Son of God and a body, right? Okay. It's the 3 parts of God. So what I experienced when I had that near-death experience was all 3. Okay? And not from the Christian perspective, necessarily, okay? Like, I didn't turn into a man, and I wasn't like Jesus or anything. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that I could see my body down below from that experience. And then I could also see my spirit from a different vantage points. And from that vantage point, I would say that I was God. Okay. And not the man that the Christians believe is some weird bearded old man in a cloud somewhere, okay? That's not what God is. God is the awareness that you have of everything. And you're not going to fully experience that while you're in your body. You just can't. In the way that you would outside of your body. Okay. So, that's that. I just want to explain who I am and why I'm sharing this information with you is so that hopefully you can heal yourself as well. That is the goal here. Not just that you hear my story and what I was going through, or that I survived a tremendously horrifying accident that I should have, left and continued being gone from this earth. Okay. But that you can heal yourself. And hopefully some of my words will penetrate your mind and your heart and your spirit so that you can heal yourself too. Okay? Oh, and I was going to talk about feelings and how that affects everything. Okay, so let's go back to everything's vibration and energy. Your emotions have to align with the thoughts that you're thinking for things to change. Okay, because you have different levels of your body. And I'm not just talking about spirit, Godhead, and body now. I'm talking about there's different levels of this body that we're in. Like mental and emotional, for example. Okay? All that's included in this body here. Okay? That you're in right now. Obviously, you have a mind. And I'm not talking about your brain. And you have feelings, your emotions, which is your emotional part of your body. Okay? So, how feelings help manifest things, let's say. I know that word is overused a lot, so don't take that lightly, okay? It's not some woo-woo stuff like you think it is. It's real. Okay, you manifest things all the time. Whether you're manifesting good or bad is your choice, really. Again, that goes to what are you putting into your body and your mental plane. And all that has to do with it too. Okay, so it's all connected. But your feelings are connected with that manifestation too. So when you're thinking good things and you're feeling good things are going to happen. Okay? That's kind of, again, another point that Joe Dispenza goes over. I did not get this idea from him, but it's another thing that I've noticed that he talks about as well. So I'm going to put that in there. Let you know, in case you want to look up some of his stuff. He's really good at explaining this from his standpoint. I'm explaining it from my standpoint because I had a miraculous healing as well. So anyways, back to the feeling thing. If your mental plane and your emotional plane are on the same playing field, that's when things start to manifest into what you would think is physical reality. What you perceive to be manifestations happens because of you. So, it can happen because you're thinking it and you're feeling it at the same time. It doesn't mean that's going to happen immediately, though. It can. It definitely can, and it does sometimes. But it doesn't mean that's going to happen immediately. Because if you took a long time manifesting something else in your life, like fear or grief or trauma, or, that's not always manifested. Sometimes that happens to you for a different reason. But if you took a long time manifesting those things in the first place, accidentally, because you didn't know you were doing it, then sometimes it might take a long time to manifest the opposite. So, let's say you took a long time stressing and fearing and just freaking yourself out by listening to a bunch of crap on the news, okay? We won't say what kind of crap on the news, but we'll just say crap on the news. Sorry for using the word crap, but that's the nicest word I can think of right now. So, if you somehow manifested yourself some health issues because you were in fear for a long time, okay? Maybe this didn't happen the first day that it came on the news. Maybe it came on the news like 50 days in a row. And you're just watching this news while they're programming you. That's why they call it programming. It's another point here. And you watch it over and over and over. What does that do to your brain? Your mind? Your emotions? What does that do? I'm going to tell you what it does. It lowers your vibration. And at the same time, it tells you what to believe. Because you're programming your mind by watching programming on television. The news is never good. But you watch it anyway, because you have always watched the news. It's just something you've always done. Your grandparents did it, your parents did it. Everyone around you watches the news, right? Well, that's not true, but a lot of people watch it. So you think that you have to get up, and in order to know what you're going to wear today, you don't watch the news. Just because there's a little bit of information that you could easily go outside and just find out or look it up or something. But the news is already on. You're watching your daily weather forecast, and the next thing you know, terrible things are happening in the world. That's what they want you to believe, right? That's all they ever say on there. Didn't you ever find that weird? A little strange? That your own television programming is telling you that the world is ending and that everything's going to crap. Again, that's not the word I want to use for that, but that's the nicest one I can think of. And everyone's getting sick, right? That's what they want you to believe. Not everyone's sick. There are some sick people out there right now. There are a lot of mentally sick people out there right now. Unfortunately, those mentally sick people own the television stations that you watch every day of your life. And they control the images that are going in your mind. Okay? So we're getting back off track here. I want to get back onto it, okay? But keep that in mind. Who owns them? Keep it in mind. Follow the money. Heard that before. I don't remember who said that, but I don't know. It's probably been more than one person by now. Anyways, I think of it. I'll put it in here, but I can't think of who says that all the time. But you've heard it. You've heard it. You know. You know who owns the TV that you're watching. Or at least the programs on it. You know that they pay people absurd amounts of money to get on there and lie to you. Television. That's why it's called that. You heard that probably from Ralph Smart or something. Probably plenty of other people that say that, because it's obvious. Tells lies to your vision. That's why it's called the television. Spell it out sometime. Look at it. Look at your words more carefully. Anyways, back to how feelings affect your manifestations and your healing. Because your healing is a manifestation. In case you didn't get that. In case you weren't on the same page, which I know a lot of you aren't. And that's good. I'm glad I reached you today. Because I'm really hoping that this gets through to you somehow. And that I'm saying this in a way that's understandable to you. I'm explaining it hopefully in a way that you can understand so you can help yourself. Because that's what I would like to do, is to help others. Because I know it's possible. I know you can heal. But you're the one that has to do the healing. Well, the doctor can help me. Well, they can make cures for illnesses they may have caused. Let's just say that. May have. That's not a did. That's a may have. Okay. Of course, the person that may have made something may have the cure. But the cure got side effects that you don't want. Why are there always side effects to these so-called medicines? Do herbs have side effects? I mean, some of them, I guess. Maybe, if you're allergic to them. You take the right dose, though, shouldn't be any side effects. Somehow, somehow all these medicines that are man-made have like a whole list of side effects that are sometimes worse than the problem you already had. Okay? Sometimes worse than the problem you already had. I'm getting off track again. I'm sorry about that. This is going longer than I thought. No, I'll try to wrap it up for you, okay? I just want to get these things in here. So, when you're feeling good, you notice that your life goes better, right? Surely you've noticed that. Or at least you've noticed that, like, if the driver in the car is angry, let's say, you're driving down the road and somebody's arguing in the front seat with the driver. Somebody's arguing back and forth, and you can see them. You can see, without even hearing them, you know that they're waving their hands around, their heads bobbing back and forth. They're arguing. You can see it in their car. You're driving by. It might be your car. Who knows? The point is, when somebody's arguing, their vibration's going all over the place in the wrong direction. In the wrong direction. When they're arguing in a car, things go wrong, right? We've all seen somebody get angry and frustrated and hollering back and forth while they're driving, and the next thing you know, they're in a car accident. Okay, this isn't to do with the car accident that I'm talking about that I healed from, okay? I'm talking about just the general vibration of the feeling itself can change your reality, or your so-called reality. A perception that we think is real can change or manifest very rapidly when we are not in a good mood. Okay? When we are having a hard time, things just get harder, right? When we're having a hard time emotionally, things get worse, right? You can imagine a scenario in your life where you were just heave-ho, angry at somebody, pissing and moaning, whatever it was. Things were just not right emotionally, right? And then, all of a sudden, our life reflected it. We notice those things. Those manifestations. We notice those. We might not know that we're manifesting them before we manifest them. We notice afterwards. You're paying attention. You're going to notice afterwards. Okay? We all know that person that's laying in bed all the time. Well, poor me, my life is shit. Well. Everything goes wrong in my life. Well. Okay, we know them. We all have somebody like that in our lives at some point. And it's just to show us what happens when we manifest those emotions and that thought process together. We get nothing good, right? Right? Those people are always saying, my life just keeps getting worse and worse. They can't figure out why, but we all see it, right? Do you see it? I hope so. All right, this is getting pretty long, so I'm gonna wrap this up. Vibration changes everything. Manifestation comes from both your mental plane and your emotional plane. They may not be exactly where you think that those planes are at. And we'll get into that another time. But for now, you can think of those as your mind and your heart, because that's what most people would call that. Okay? So your mind and your heart have a lot to do with your vibration, which changes your reality, or your so-called reality, and makes something called a manifestation. Whether it's good or bad is up to you. A good manifestation would be healing and productivity and better things in your life. Things going well for you. Those are examples of good manifestations, as we would call them. And then there are, the bad ones that we talked about. Shared some examples of what those might be. Things don't work how you think that they did. They aren't physical. And even science, even newer science is saying that now. And like I said, a good person to listen to, not the only person, but a good one that I can think of is Braden. Okay? If you want to hear the science behind it, so I'm not a scientist, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I am. All I know is I've learned, through my spiritual experience, the same thing as the scientists have already figured out. Which is that reality is not reality. It is waves and vibration and light. Okay? So keep that in mind. Piece it all together. Have a lovely St. Patty's Day. And have a good one. Love and light, y'all.